at the same beginning of I say who we were at the beginning.
Oh, alright. Introductions, yeah, right. Gosh, I really should have typed this out.
Yeah, I am Phantom Eidolon, aka Fido1.
Yeah, he does a lot of you do a lot of streaming at night, don't you? Like most of your stuff was like late night streams.
Yeah, part of it was that I was at that time for it at first, but then it came to be like I didn't want to keep trying to filter on my camera to get the sun out of it. I was like, that's just for the night.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I pitched with the theming, so Phantom and Ghost don't come out during the day. So
I play a lot of Souls games too, so it really.
Yeah.
Are you still? What are you playing now, actually?
I just finished up RE2 remake, and I was in a few little games. I was about to start up the RE4 randomizer again. I did a run of that before with my brother, but I can do like a single person randomizer run.
Okay.
They just updated the randomizer.
Oh, neat. I was actually watching a couple friends last night playing Resident Evil 5. They were doing the Wesker fight. It's like actually really freaking cool.
It's a great co-op game.
Yeah, it is. Like watching them like freak out over like QTEs and the cooperative like pushing boxes around, and there was a tight sequence during the Wesker fight where they had to like subdue Jill or whatever. And yeah, the other person while grabbing him has to do a matching shot to pull like a control device out of her chest. Like it's really freaking neat. It is like they were pretty much screaming at each other the whole time. It was like, oh, do it, match for your life. It was fun. It was fun. Like I'm glad games like It Takes Two and A Way Out are good because like honestly like pure like cooperative adventure games sound like a really fun time.
They don't have as many of them nowadays as they used to, but
yeah.
When they do come out, then yeah, they're great. I guess you probably should introduce yourself as well.
Yeah. I am MarioMan64100, technically current host of the Artistic Articulation Smash Tournament series. That's going to be on hiatus for a bit, but I'm kind of, aside from that, I'm kind of just like chill down to earth. I stream pretty much every other Tuesday. This week being the exception because I figured I got the webcam and I can test it out on something real quick. But aside from that, I'm kind of just your average Joe, just trying to stream and hang out with peeps. Watch a couple, like maybe have a watch party, get a small audience, just do my thing, because I play games all the time anyway. I might as well have an audience while I do it.
That's my thought exactly, yeah.
I am working on some side projects here and there that are like a bit more ambitious. So far, I'm doing something ambitious, and then probably not going to pan out. But I have been working on stuff on the side, like I have like a tabletop engine that I've been working on for a while. There's like a somewhat like pseudo Let's Play series that I'm working on. Based off the channel name Kid Icarus Plays, where it's like Pit, Call of Duty, Viridian, Dark Pit, or like doing the Wreck-It Ralph thing, where they pretty much visit game worlds, experience their story, and react to stuff happening around them. I really enjoyed Kid Icarus and their level of writing, so it's like, yeah, we'll like to try my hand at that.
Sounds cool, yeah.
Hey, Brooklyn, is there anything else you wanted to say, or?
Nope, we're good to go.
Alright, let's get right to it then.
The focus on the non-webcam is fine.
He had a green screen, that's why it looked weird.
Didn't see you
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, kind of volume up.
Hi everyone. Drink. This
There we
trick
go.
is because what I have found
Hello,
is that
Tony.
a lot of people on the internet have difficulty differentiating the differences between facts and opinions.
That is an ever-changing problem, especially on Twitter, just once does not exist there.
And how that people like always say things as they are facts as well.
Yeah, I love it
Like
when people start facts with, I feel like.
Or like, well, I don't have a good example, but yeah, just the tone when people type things out for sure.
Yeah.
It's very, is this or not, or not.
Yeah.
Or but nothing else.
Like there are some times where it's like it's hard to tell, but like because a lot of it is subjective, to where it's like what's true for you might not be true for someone else. Like someone saying like, oh, like sports games fell off, and it's like to some that is extremely true, but to others it's like, bro, like I love sports games, blah blah blah.
It's like the only thing I play.
Yeah, it's like objectively, like it could go either way, but that could also be just be like someone's perspective, like someone who doesn't like someone who what's it called? Someone who dislikes tennis, but likes Mario Tennis. Could see like how Mario Tennis kind of like stagnated and be like, man, Mario Sports games fell off. But if you like tennis, like I do, I'm probably gonna play them regardless because tennis at its base is still fun. So like, but there is like a truth to that opinion to where it's like, oh yeah, no, like there is like a dip in like the fun aspect of like Mario Tennis, but the base form of tennis is still there. So like, I don't know, like there's a lot of things that can go into it that can like alter like someone's perception or like their own truth or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, no, like the differentiation between facts and opinions is a very real thing. It's very hard to do sometimes, especially on like when it's only text.
So I got emojis.
That is true. Emojis do help convey emotion. Depending on who you're
Makes
arguing with, it's also a litmus test.
You have to make some fact or opinion emojis.
Alright. Let's continue.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that we could take a look at some examples through the lens of video gaming. So join me, won't you?
We shall?
As we go
Hey,
through
robot.
some of the deepest, darkest opinions that I could find on Twitter. And we'll say whether they are facts.
Good ones will be featured in the video I made, and the others will be fed to pigs.
Let's take
Fair.
a look from PG's Player Mars. Now, ignore the spoilers.
Call him out Mars, by the way.
Kingdom Hearts.
Bro, Sora, the only Sora main here to tell you that that's wrong. The story is bad, but the games are actually really good. Also, that's
Yeah.
Is this fact or an opinion?
I mean, the fact that he used the word booty kind of
You
makes it
guessed
not
fact.
fact in the beginning.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no, this is 300% opinion, but like...
Yeah. Like, we're not trying to dispute whether or not it's true or not. It's more just whether it's a fact or opinion.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, this is an opinion.
Yeah, I know, it's an opinion, but it's a wrong opinion.
I didn't really play past one, but you know, yeah, what I've seen of the ones, yeah, they played just fine.
Yeah,
The-
no,
the
like,
story
one was
changes,
like... If I were to say, like, there was a bad Kingdom Hearts game, it would either be Chain of Memories or Recoded. Recoded is pretty average, but it's very gimmicky, whereas Chain of Memory is kind of just a gimmick, and that gimmick is over now.
Yeah, I've heard Chain Memories isn't great from my brother because he played it. Like, I don't like the card gameplay. It's like, yeah, that's fine, fair.
Yeah, like, it's a bit of a trip. But,
Yeah.
the story, however, I can agree that it does get really bad sometimes.
Yeah, that's
Like-
kind of what it.
Like,
I don't know if
the
that's
lore's
Kingdom Hearts.
convoluted, so it's bad.
Like, is it Kingdom Hearts' fault, or is it the fact that it's associated with Disney? Which one is it?
With 3
It's like-
specifically, it was kind of like Disney's issue, but most of it was just like Square Enix just not. Tetsuya Nomura can't really write very well. Or when he does
Yeah.
write, like he tries to make self-contained stories connected, which isn't a bad thing because a lot of them tend to do that. But it is the trying to connect things instead of like having a planned story from the get-go. If that makes
Yeah.
any sense. Like he has a writing style to where like he'll leave stuff open and then like be like, oh yeah, this is how we can answer that question later, which is a good style to have because like it leaves when you leave yourself room for storytelling, like, and then you can come back and be like, oh, like how would this character do that, and then pull back from like something you left open, and it's like, oh, okay, I can attach it to this, and then I can finagle it to where it's not messing with the plot or anything like that. That's the hard part. sometimes he does really well. Other times it does not work out. Like for example, the end of Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, you've seen the end of Kingdom Hearts 1 already, right?
Kind of.
Where like Sora and Riku are trying to close the door, and Mickey pops up in the background out of nowhere saying, "Don't worry, there's always a way to the light," and helps close the door.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the question of how did Mickey get there didn't get answered until like years later, when the Birth by Sleep like technically epilogue came out at around 0.2's release. So like that's a lot of words, I know, but
Yeah. Yeah.
so if the 0.2 is basically like what happened to like one of the main characters after Birth by Sleep, named Aqua. So
Yeah.
And the decimal number is because of it was part of like a re-release bundle. Like you heard of like Kingdom Hearts, like the 1.5 remix, 2.5 remix.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
have those. Yeah.
yeah. So that is what that is. So like 0.2 is supposed to be like, oh, this is before this took because Birth by Sleep and 0.2 took place before Kingdom Hearts. So it's technically a backstory. It's a backstory lore thing that comes into play later, kind of story. So basically, the main character is wandering through the realm of darkness, and she runs into Mickey. They do their adventuring, and basically what happens is they fight a boss. They kind of get like mini separated. Aqua holds the boss back so that Mickey can help close the door of darkness because they were and while that is a really good way to connect that, the issue is that now means Mickey just like outright left her and forgot about it for 10 years. Like I'm trying to explain it in a way to where it's like easy for someone to digest, but like it's kind of hard to do that without like going into deep lore, and it's like it gets a weird thing because then I gotta explain the lore of that lore and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's a mess. Yeah, that's why I said like the story can be pretty bad, but the gameplay is really good. He's tripping, but this is 20% opinion.
You're correct. It's fact.
Yeah.
The games have never been good. You were just a kid.
You were just a kid.
Mars writing it.
Cap. I know, cause like I started getting into Kingdom Hearts around high school. So like, I forget. I watched. Oddly enough, I was watching a Source Filmmaker video, and that had Sora's model like used for like a comedic skit. It's like, oh, shoot, I vaguely remember who this character is. So what was his name? Like Sora or something? The video was like Sonic teaches Sora to go green. It was like really silly. Kind of video, and I looked up Kingdom Hearts and I was like, oh yeah, I used to watch my cousin play this game all the time. Like, he didn't do any of the Disney stuff. He was already at the end of the game. So he was just kind of practicing the Sephiroth fight more than anything. So I didn't see any of the like story or gameplay, or at the very least not a whole lot of it at the time. But the game looks really cool, and I like the fact that Goofy and Donald were there for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, he would sometimes summon Chicken Little, which I thought made no sense, but that was really funny. Like, I knew nothing about it, I just remember watching him play it. So I actually started watching. It went through me watching like the end game bosses of all the games for some reason, instead of just watching, and then I ended up watching each game's individual story. So I've been in the Ragu for like maybe, gosh, high school was so long ago when this was weird to say that. Let's see. I want to say I got into it in like my sophomore year of high school, so like 2012, like early 2012, like 2013. Yeah. So yeah, I've been in it for like 11 years, but like I was not like a kid. I was cognizant, I like to think.
I was a kid. I was like 10 or 11 when it came out.
Yeah, but I signed onto the series super late, so like the whole like we waited 13 years for this, for me it was like maybe 6. And I had so
Yeah,
many games I was going through that it didn't bother me at all.
Yeah, it was a long time. Yeah, my memory is like I wasn't waiting for it, but I remember people talking about it every time I go to GameStop. Like,
Oh yeah, I
games
went to the
come out.
midnight release and everything. When 3 came out, I went to the midnight release. Because I honestly, I really enjoyed it. Like, it was a genuinely good. Like, if you don't pay attention to Kingdom Hearts like lore story, I would definitely recommend 2 and 3 the most. The side games, Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance are my absolute favorites. Like, definitely, if you do get into it, play those. Like, they're really good.
Okay.
Alright.
Now that was a pretty easy one. So let's try something else. Michael, Tuneful Road. This is our friend Tinker. Indie developers should not make multiplayer-only games. They're way too risky, and even the good ones die early.
The issue is, with this one, it's like, indie games die early anyway. Like, that's just kind of the nature of the beast. There's so many indie developers nowadays that, like, you have to really try hard to stand out.
It just seems like the ones that do well are usually single player focused.
Yeah,
that's
they're usually
kind of
single
true.
player, story-driven, platformer type games.
Yeah, multiplayer games die out early, and indie games die out early. So put them together, they're gonna die out early.
Yeah, that is. You're right. That is a recipe for disaster because it's like, if you're relying on multiple people to be on this game that no one's heard of for a very long time.
Yeah, I don't have enough staff.
Yeah, not even enough staff. Just like you have to also remember that like multiplayer games depend on the player base, and if the players don't know who you are, they're not gonna dip their toes into a random multiplayer game. Especially if it's online multiplayer. Like
Yeah, I don't know. This thing though, I feel like he's gonna like troll us regardless what the answer actually is.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
I mean, every one of these is probably his opinion, really.
Yeah, that's why I love Tony. He's an active con man. He's funny.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, it's a I think
I might lean on the fact side a little more just because of statistics.
yeah, I want to say that's a fact. Like, I wouldn't say they shouldn't make them, but there is a much bigger inherent risk. I will say that's a fact.
Is this a fact? Or is it an opinion?
It is a fact.
If you said it's a fact, you're right.
Fuck.
It's a
Okay.
fact.
Okay, I
You're
wasn't
probably
debating.
not going to have the same success Rocket League did, and you're making a game that will die within a couple months.
Yes.
Don't do that. Just make a single player game. Have some multiplayer tacked on. Then maybe you can have a game that will last longer than a couple months.
No, that makes sense. Like a single player, like if what's it called? If like an indie co-op game had like how a lot like the big ones like A Way Out and It Takes Two, if I recall, like they make it to where you can play it by yourself if you need to or something, right?
Yeah, they're not co-op exclusive, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about like it's reliant on whether or not the person has like someone they can play with consistently. So you're not just like it's not like Zelda Triforce Heroes where you need to have 3 people at all times or that game is borderline unplayable.
Yeah.
And like, that's insane.
And what if you did mean like multiplayer only as in co-op, or if you meant like online cooperative, competitive, I mean.
Yeah, I think it's like multiplayer only. I think it encompasses all of that, especially if it's like online multiplayer. Like you're not gonna last like that because when he brought up Rocket League, he's like Rocket League is huge. You're not gonna beat Rocket League in player base and player retention.
Yeah.
Like you would have to make something absolutely baller, and then you would have to have single player attached to it so that at the very least people can look at it while they're playing. Like that is a hugely ambitious project. And I don't know how Fortnite got away with it, but they did, and it's like kind of amazing.
Yeah, it started out single player only, and branched out Battle Royale and moved it back.
Now it's like one of the biggest like gaming conglomerates out there. You can build Legos, you can do rhythm games, you can race on custom tracks, you can do non-building mode for like if you don't want to be sweaty, which is weird that the non-building mode is the not sweaty option.
Yeah.
But like it's insane, like just how much you have to think about when you make these kind of games. Because it's like you gotta ask, like, what am I doing that's different? What am I like? How's the monetization? Because if it's on online live service, it's gonna have to be monetized. Like everyone want to spend money in this game for Fortnite, and it's like it's why so many of them are dying out now, or have already died out, because it's like they're all like daily driven, battle pass driven. Monetized, like they all want you to spend money on it, and it's like when all these games kind of just want you to be a constant stream of money, like you're gonna pick and choose what you're gonna spend money on if you're gonna spend money on them at all. Fun fact, you're likely just gonna go to the one that's consistent, like Fortnite, and then just go on about your day.
What about Fall Guys? Fall Guys will be dead by the end of the year.